Explained by the Billy Meier contacts. Mysteries, myths, legends, conspiracy theories, historical inaccuracies, and more. Compiled by David Chance, revised October 18, 2023.
Mother Teresa. Contact Report 275.
Perhaps you know that so-called Mother Teresa is soon to be canonized in a high-speed process. But you yourself said to me, in regard to this woman, that she is a criminal who, under the cover of faith and religion, commits, respectively committed, because in the meantime she has died, grave wrongdoings. As I know from you and from various terrestrial sources, she was a child robber who stole children from many Indian mothers and sold them for a lot of money to childless foreigners. In cooperation with other sisters of her order, she told the mothers, from whom she stole the children, that the children entrusted to her had died, and so forth. Furthermore, she also raked in dollars by the millions by means of donations which were entrusted to her for the purpose of alleviating the need of those who were suffering, and to build hospitals and nursing homes, and so forth. But all the many dollars, which, not very long ago, you indicated to me was 3.5,350,000,000, and in large part, Mother Teresa got through begging and underhanded means from the federal heads and finance bosses and so forth, was never utilized for the purposes indicated by her. Only a few dollars actually flowed out for the named purposes, while most of the remainder, namely more than 1.7,170,000,000, if I correctly recall your statements, were carried to Rome by the deceiver in order to fill the papal coffers.
What I told you in connection with this fraudulent little woman corresponds to the events and facts, so the explanations may also be mentioned openly.
Contact Report 543 Mother Teresa, or Religious Madness, in all its cruelty, article by Bridget Keller, Switzerland.
What Bridget has written is of good quality in every respect and corresponds to reality in all respects. The article is very suitable for publication in a bulletin. Since the bulletin is distributed worldwide on the Internet and is read by many Earth humans, it is possible to create a great enlightenment regarding the real facts about this reprehensible woman, Mother Teresa.
Why did this she-devil woman have her hair cut off the hair of those she had already tormented and doomed to die?
She made a lot of money with it in a criminal way because she sold it with a big profit, especially in Europe and in the USA, to manufacturers of spare hair parts.
You mean wigs and toupees?
That is the meaning of my statement. All in all, this degenerate personality obtained $3.5,350,000 US dollars from rich and poor people all over the world, 1.7,170,000 of which she passed on to the popes in the Vatican in Rome. She began her real career on the 10th of September 1937 in Darjeeling in India, where she spent years trying to realize her plans, which she had made very early on by every means possible. The real start came in 1949, when she opened her first school in a slum in Calcutta and managed to sneak in with Pope Pius V, who worked from 1939 to 1958 and supported the false missionary with all possible means. As Superior General, she also gave her permission to form a community of missionaries of charity, which she presided over until the end of her life. His successor, then, John XXIII, also fell in love with the woman in every way and also supported her, and when he died in 1963, the same legacy passed to Pope Paul VI and continued until 1978. Then, however, came Pope John Paul I, who distanced himself from the woman's reprehensibilities as well as from all sorts of machinations and intrigues in the Vatican, but which cost him his life because he was murdered. As you know, he only held office for 33 days, after which he was found dead on 29 September 1978. Pope John Paul II was immediately elected in his place, continuing the legacy of the other previous popes regarding the machinations and the connection with Angèle Gongshe Bojakshiu, as the correct name of this reprehensible woman really was. It was also this pope who promised her in an audience that he would beatify her. And it is to be explained in addition that she had already begun to creep in with large donations of money during the time of Pope Pius XIII, which has been preserved until close to her death. She and her sisters pledged never to work for money or for the wealthy, but this pledge was a mockery, because in reality they were only concerned with their own profit and welfare in the slums, especially the superior general who ridiculously called herself Mother Teresa. Infants and children who were abandoned or taken away from their mothers were sold all over the world for horrendous sums of money. The sick, hungry, and dying were miserably maltreated and exposed to great pain, even to the point of dying in misery. In 1952, the Christian hypocrite and degenerate opened the house Nirmal Hriday, which means something like pure heart. In truth, it was a house for the sick and dying, in which thousands of helpless and suffering human beings vegetated under inhuman conditions and finally died in evil misery.